Stand up and move, live in our truth. Feel the power. This is the hour. We are love. Standing strong. Hand in hand. We are in love. We are in peace on purpose on. We are in peace on purpose on. Can't ignore what we're here for. Join the crowd, live out loud. We are love, standing strong, hand in hand. We are in love. We are in peace on purpose on. We are in peace on purpose on. This is a call to one and all. We are unity, one God, one community, one community. We'd like to take this opportunity and say good morning to one another. Wake up and hear what the world has to say. We are together, one community. We are in peace on purpose on. We are in peace on purpose on. We are in peace on purpose on. We are in peace on purpose
First of all, there we go. Ooh, that's better. It's a rich sound. It's mellifluous. We're working together to build the kind of church that we want to go to. It's one of the things that carries us through all the kinds of stuff that we do together. And so, of course, there's changes, as you've noticed, no doubt. There's some changes in the way that we set things up here. But when you build a church, one of the questions you have to ask is, what kind of church do you want to make? And some people think that a church ought to be a performance hall and ought to feel like a big venue where there's a lot of different things going on and kind of a variety show thing, and that's fine. And some people think that a church ought to feel like a fast food restaurant where there's millions and millions served, and that's fine. But man, oh man, for us, the thing that makes sense is that it ought to feel like home. I hope that you feel at home in this place, because home is a place where there's always somebody there for you. Home is a place where there's usually something to eat. Home is a place where people will hold you accountable for whatever nutty thing you're doing because they see the best in you. Home is where the heart is. So thank you for showing up, and thank you for coming home. We love to begin our services by taking an opening statement together. There it is. Let's speak the word. God is and I am. I stand on holy ground. Right here and right now, there is truth. Right here and right now, there is freedom. Right here and right now, there is life. This is who I am. I am ready. From now on, I speak the truth. From now on, I choose freedom. From now on, this is my life. The unstoppable love of God prepares the way. I am ready, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. Just a few announcements this morning. As you know, we really don't like loud and long announcements, so we try to keep them very short. So right off the bat, thank you so much for sharing our service on Facebook and also for checking into our location. It really helps us to get seen and get heard. So again, we're so grateful to everybody that does that. Also, we have something called Thanks for Bringing It Back cards, the Bring Back cards. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the table in the lobby, grab your cards, you'll grab one of us, and we'll explain it after service instead of me doing all this. And if you're watching online, come here, come to church, and then you get to see what we're talking about because, you're at home, you're missing out. We can't give everything online. That being said, if you are online, the best way to find out more about what we're doing on a regular basis is to visit our website, waterandstonechurch.com. Also, if you use Facebook, you can always find our events and everything there. Go and do that. But also, we have a really kind of neat way that we do how you can stay connected with us. You can text I am ready to 84576, and that is how you receive our digital newsletter. It's how you can contact us on a regular basis for prayer requests and all that good stuff. It's how we stay paperless, and it is a really, really good way to stay connected. So I encourage you to do that. Also, there's cards on the table. If you haven't signed up for it yet, go ahead and get those. As you know, service and volunteering are really, really important to us here at Water and Stone. So things coming up. You guys know about the beach cleanup. It's happening a week from this Saturday from 8 to 11 a.m. We're probably going to bring some snacks and some food and pick up some trash. Gloves and bags will be provided. All you need to do is show up. And if you're not sure of the location, both on the website and our Facebook event has coordinates, because this isn't it's not a proper beach. It doesn't really have a name. So we kind of gave the coordinates. It's by the Sunshine Skyway at the base where there's a lot of trash that kind of gathers. So look there, and if you can't figure out, come talk to one of us. We'll get you there somehow. You can. Google Maps is your friend. Sometimes Google Maps is not my friend, but this time it will be your friend. All right, Ronald McDonald House is coming up October 12th from 10 a.m. to noon. We are getting our menu together, so please give me a holler if you would like to join me in cooking for the families and the littles. So it's always a really, really fun experience. Last thing I have for you today is about Ask the Pastor. We do something different around these parts. Lead pastor, I'm just kind of, feeding off this. Anyway, what we do is we give you the opportunity to text in questions all the time. They are live. We answer them here, and as many as we can. If there's something on your heart, something on your mind, something that you've been going through, something that Dieter's going to talk about today, you will be able to text that, and this number will be up during the service. All right, that's all I have for you today. So now let's get still and quiet. It's time for meditation. We just close our outer eyes. Let ourselves be still and quiet. Not all of the cares of the week to come, let them just be put away for just a moment as we focus together. I let myself be still. I let myself be calm. I let myself be centered. I am open to the wise guidance of Spirit, to the healing life of Spirit, to the loving kindness of Spirit. I am here in peace on purpose, in alignment with the truth, and in agreement with the blessings that are my birthright. I am a child of God. Material concerns do not limit me. I am a child of God. Outer limitations do not hold me back. I am a child of God. My inheritance is not sickness or lack, fear or doubt. I am a child of God, and God works in and through me to bless, to heal, and prosper. If fear comes, I let myself feel it, and I let it go. Fear does not define me. If doubt comes, I let myself feel it, and I let it go. Doubt does not define me. If anger comes, I let myself feel it, and I let it go. Anger does not define me. God is infinite. God is infinity. No matter how real an outer condition may feel, if it can pass away, it's not the truth. I treat each passing moment with gratitude, and I let it pass. My business is with the truth. My focus is on what cannot go away. Past the surface, deeper than superficial change, beyond opinion and evaluation, there is spirit. Transcending what comes and goes, there is the unchanging love of God. Today I see love, and I let others see it through me. Today I ask for a blessing from each moment, and I bless my world. Today is a new day for me. Today is a new day for me. Let's say that together. Today is a new day for me. And let's close our time of meditation together as we speak the words of our Lord's Prayer. Together, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Now let's rise together and share our hymn.
There's a reason why the winds change the season. Do you think that there's a why for all the scars in the sky? In my
So our scripture today, there it is, Matthew 7:7-8. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be opened. Now this is a big deal. Because at the core of this message, the core of Christianity, the core of spirituality, the core of this God stuff is a very simple proposition. All you got to do is ask. That's what's going on. It's not fancy. It's not complicated. There's no special rites you've got to learn. There's no magic words you got to learn. All you got to do is ask. And I know you've heard that before. It's everywhere in Scripture over and over again. Jesus basically shows up and says, why are you guys so fancy? Over and over again, the message is just ask. God knows. God's here. God likes you. It's such a common message that most people feel like, yeah, I got that. I understand how this works. And yet, think with me about how often the prayer idea is not an ask kind of a proposition. Instead, think how often that the prayer idea is the idea of I'm going to tell God what to do. God, I need you to show up, and I need you to like me, and I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Think about how often prayer breaks down into those three things. Gosh, how much wasted energy is in getting God to show up when God's already here? And what does that say about my understanding of God, my relationship with God, my ability to experience God if I think He's not in the room? God, will you show up? And here's God going, what is this, peekaboo? And there's that situation of, well, okay, God, I know you're here, but I know you're not crazy about me. And here's God going, what do I got to do? Have you seen your circulatory system? Do you know how beautiful and special and magical you are? And yet, so many prayers are, God, will you please just like me? And God's like, we got to go to counseling. You know? And how many prayers are the prayer of God? Here's the deal. I'm going to tell you what to do. I want you to do these things because I know better than you, and I want you to deliver unto me this thing, and that person's going to start liking me, and this person's going to go away, and I'm going to direct God all around. Let me ask you something. If you got to tell God what to do because God doesn't know, is it really God? If you have a God that needs to be told, what you have is a very small concept of God. And a small concept of God means a small ability to experience miracles, right? It's all about our receptivity, our openness, our willing relationship. So do you have the kind of God that you got to tell what to do? This is different because how many people read halfway through a book about affirmations or drawing the miracle of God or moving energy around or whatever it is that you want to do? It's all the same kind of idea that I'm going to tell God what to do. You ever taught somebody how to drive? You ever sat in the passenger seat when a 16-year-old sociopath is driving the car? You tell him what to do. Turn left. You don't know. Ooh, watch your left. 10 and 2 and the whole thing. Because there's fear. Is that the relationship that we have with God? Imagine yourself at the other end of that proposition. Imagine yourself as a child when you ask someone who loves you and cares for you to take you to the movies or to Disney World or the beach or something you want to do. There's the difference between asking and telling. Which way do you want to be with Spirit? It's a simple question. Which way do you want to be? Because the idea of telling is an idea of distance, an idea of diminishment. And the idea of asking is a simple faith. When I ask you to pass the salt, I'm assuming in perfect faith that you got salt. It's not complicated. So what about the prayer that says, God, I know that you have the answers, and I'm fresh out. I'm open now. I'm past my own ego, and I am willing that you provide the healing instead of me trying to do this on my own. I'm done trying to do it on my own. I'm just going to ask. The difference between loneliness and miracles is the difference between telling and asking. And so, again, I say to you, all you got to do is ask. Now, I get it. This is a big deal because people say, okay, fine, I understand in principle, but I don't know how to ask God. Do I make an appointment? Is there a website? I don't know how to ask God. This is too big. Now, we've talked about prayer, and there's a lot to it or not a lot to it, depending on your mood and your point of view. But I recognize that one way or the other, it feels like a big ultimate thing. So how do I ask God? I get it that I should. How do I do? Well, the good news is, because God is everywhere, you can kind of walk backwards into this. The good news is you don't have to go to Mount Sinai. The good news is you don't have to figure out the big thing. Because God is everywhere, think about this with me, then every ask is asking God. Because God is everywhere, every word is a prayer. Because God is everywhere, the whole thing that we're going through in this life is God moments. The trick is to know it. The trick is to be conscious and intentional about it. That's the trick. And so what I'm trying to say is you can build the momentum you need to get to where you can communicate with God on that basis by learning how to ask the people around you for help. You can build the momentum. You can work those muscles. It's okay if it's low weight and high reps. You can get there by being the kind of person who asks for help. And everybody benefits from that. I have to tell you that a couple of days ago, I guess it was Tuesday, I got a call that someone that was in the teen group that Jenny and I used to be a part of, they live in Sebring, if you can call that living. They live in Sebring. And they're still kids. It's a couple, and they met at one of our events. And they got engaged at one of our events. And it's the kind of thing where you go, yeah, okay, it's a teenager engagement, whatever. And then I remember that we got engaged when we were teenagers, so I can't say too much about it. But they're doing okay. They're kids, and they're kids who have a 3-week-old baby. And the 3-week-old baby wasn't doing so well. And they took the 3-week-old baby to a doctor in Sebring. And in Sebring, they're still using leeches and stuff. And so they didn't know what to do. You know I'm right. So they cast the bones or whatever they do in Sebring, and they said, this baby needs to be helicoptered to St. Petersburg, to All Children's, because it's a good hospital, and we don't have scanning equipment. We just hold the kid up to a candle like an egg in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. But then they said, we can't put the kid on a helicopter because there's bands of this hurricane. And so an ambulance came from St. Petersburg to Sebring to get a baby and went all the way back. Can you imagine being the parent in that situation? And so we heard that this little family was at the hospital, and so we dropped what we were doing, and I skipped out on the day job stuff, and we went to the hospital to go see this little family. And by the time they got to the hospital, they felt a little bit better, but they were shell-shocked. They'd been up since, 4 in the morning. They hadn't eaten anything since breakfast. And we prayed. But I want to give you an equation. Are you ready? This is how life works. You ready? This is a big deal. It's very complicated. Prayer plus sandwiches. I'm serious. It's the secret to a lot. Prayer plus sandwiches. Because we said, what do you guys need? We've prayed about it. We've spoken the word. We know God's got this. You know that. We're in agreement about that. What do you need? We need pub subs. And so Mama Jenny said, you go, you boys go. And so we went to forage for nuts and berries, and we went to the grocery store. And I put Daddy in line. I said, figure out what you and Mama want, and I'm going to go get some groceries. Daddy was a little befuddled because this was a long day, and so I kept getting groceries, and I kept getting groceries, and I come back, I'd orbit the Publix, you know how it is, and he's still in line looking. I don't think they have white bread. It's going to be okay. And I filled up that cart, and we got back to the hospital, and he took his bag of his sandwiches, and then I kept taking bags out, and he said, I thought you were getting your groceries. And I said, no, this is you, because you asked for food. And the secret is, I was fed so much by just getting to be the daddy for a minute, the grandpa, I guess. Just getting to do that. And you've had those moments where you just go, here. Prayer plus sandwiches. Contrast that with the idea that we saw so much of what I call the Facebook prayer, where someone puts the post on Facebook and says, please send your thoughts and energy. And you do the thing and you click like and then you go on with your life. Is that enough? There was a lot of people trying to divert the hurricane with their thoughts and their energy or whatever it is. But it occurred to me that wherever you're diverting a hurricane, there's probably people who live there. Not so nice. Maybe that's not how this works. Maybe we need to remember that we're all in this together, and the job is not just to speak the word and know the truth and be a presence for peace, but to feed somebody. Prayer plus sandwiches. What I'm trying to say is have the feeling on the inside and do something about it on the outside because it feels good for you and it is healing for them. Find a prayer and sandwiches moment. Act on how you feel, or ask yourself, do you really feel that way? That's what I'm talking about. When you think about the hero's story, every single myth that we hear about, the movies that we like, and the books that we read, there's a moment in every hero's journey. This is Joseph Campbell stuff too, if you want to go there. There's moments in every hero's journey where they are given a boon, B-O-O-N, a gift, an important thing. And think about the movies that you like. There's a moment where Harry Potter gets his wand and he realizes that he's a wizard. There's a moment where there's a magic cloak or a sword or some kind of special map or a ring or whatever it is. Every movie, ruby slippers, whatever it is, there's a moment when the hero is given a gift, a boon. And the hero cannot continue until they ask for help and they are given help. And the hero does whatever it is. They kill the dragon or beat the wicked witch or refinance their house or whatever it is the movie is. They fall in love. They conquer the thing. And then it's their turn to go give a gift to somebody else. Think about it. This is the hero's journey. This is your journey. You want to be a hero. Get good at asking for help, getting the help, doing what you need to do, and then helping somebody else. The hero story is a story of giving and receiving a boon. Daniel. I'm just kidding. Daniel. Couldn't help it. So if you want to be a hero, you got to ask for help. Can you do it? Like I said, I get it. The God part of that seems hard, so we'll get there. What I have for you today is some simple things that you can do today, this week, and hopefully from now on, put them in your pocket that will get you good at being this kind of giving and receiving a boon kind of hero. And they're simple things. You ready? Step one. This is my favorite because you're already doing it. Step one is go to church. I have a vested interest, but I'm serious about this. Go to church. What is church? It's not a building. We know that. It's an intentional thing. It's something that happens. Last week, we weren't allowed into this building because of the hurricane, and so we met in our living room. But in that moment of everyone showing up who showed up for the reason of experiencing a God moment, everyone who was there consciously, intentionally, we together transformed that place into a holy place, into a church. That's what happens. Man, we get in here on Sunday mornings and we have no idea what went on here on Saturday night. Sometimes it doesn't even smell very good. There's crazy things that happen. Doesn't matter. When we gather here consciously and with intention, we make this place into a church. You declare holy ground by your intentionality. And so what I'm trying to tell you is find a spiritual community who is consciously dedicated to church. So what I'm saying is, for the purposes of this, it's not enough to go, well, you know, the beach is my church. I like the beach too, and I have a spiritual feeling about it, but that ain't the same thing as a conscious community. People go, the art gallery is my church. I get that, but it's not the same as a conscious community. There's something magical about intention and the accountability of a group. There's something amazing that happens when we all just show up together. But there's an equation there. It's not just that together this place is a church. It's that the church is us together. Church becomes church when the people in it want church. It ain't church because I stand here with a Bible and whatever. There's lots of weirdos with Bibles walking around. Trust me. Church happens when together we decide something. So what I'm saying is find a place where you can decide on God's stuff. And people go, well, I don't even like the word church because I was burned by that. I get it. You know what? Find a better church. There are people who go, like, well, I had a bad experience in a hospital, so I don't go to hospitals. I go to healing centers. Great. In the middle of the night when your baby's sick and you're looking in the yellow pages and you can't find a hospital because they're all healing centers, something is broken. Find a church. Go to church. Be conscious and intentional about it, and something will change for you. I have seen the power of intention heal. But you got to find it and be open to it. So that's what they call the many-to-one relationship, going to church. And so that's only part of the equation. Step 2, so find a church. Step 2, find a tribe. Find some group of people that you can sit in a room with where everybody is an equal, everybody gets to talk, and everybody holds the other people accountable. That's important. Think about it. This is the many-to-many relationship. It's really important. When you think about the fact that drinking buddies can keep you drunk, but a 12-step group can save your life. There's something powerful in the power of a tribe. You are a tribal person. You're born that way. Find a group of people who hold you accountable. Find a group of people you can ask for help. Find a group of people when you say, you know what, my air conditioner's broken. Can somebody lend me a whatever, a cord, a thing, a wrench? And also, I want to try this thing with my life. Am I crazy? Find a room where some of the people will say, yes, you are. That's beautiful. That's important. That is healing. Find a group of accountability. Find a tribe. Okay, so good. We got that idea that we're going to be a part of a spiritual community. We got the idea that we're going to be part of an intentional tribe. But what am I intentional about? And this is the question that people come to me with all the time. Okay, I get it. God is on purpose. I understand that as Thoreau said, the sun rose on purpose. I get the idea that this is a world that happens for a reason. I'm okay with that. I just don't know what my reason is. I can't tell you how many times I see the questions after Sunday. I look at the questions that come in because, as you know, we don't get to answer all the Ask the Pastor questions, not even on Ask the Pastor Sunday. I'm so honored by the fact that people ask questions. Most people don't even know they're supposed to do that or allowed to or whatever. But so many of the questions that come in are, why am I here? In different words. And I get it. It's kind of the question in a way. I get it that God is intentional. What's the intention behind me? Why am I here? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because step 3, remember, go to church, find a tribe. Step 3, make a list. Make a list. It's not complicated. I want you to try this today. And if you like it, I want you to try it every day this week. And you don't have to do it after that. You just every once in a while, if you're feeling waterlogged, spiritually speaking, it's a nice tool to get in your toolbox. But try it a lot this week. Get yourself a pen and a piece of paper. And at the top of the piece of paper, I want you to write something that's meaningful to you, but it needs to be something like, why am I here? Or what am I here to do? Or what's the point of me? Or so what? Something that's meaningful to you. And you'll know. And get that pen out and start writing. And don't stop. Every line needs to be a reason. And some of them will be silly. I'm here because I want a sandwich. I'm here because I'm writing this until the commercial's over. I'm here because Dieter told me to and he's weird and I'm scared. I'm here for whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is, keep writing and keep writing. And what will happen is you will get past the, I'm doing this because mom and dad said I'm supposed to. I'm doing this because I think it's a good person self-help book thing to do. And you will get to a place where the stuff that comes out of that pen is the stuff that's coming out of that heart of yours. How do I know when I'm done? You'll know when you receive an answer that you have an emotional connection with. You will write something. If you do it long enough and earnestly enough, you will write something that makes you laugh, that makes you cry. You will write something that goes, oh, wow, weird. Then you can stop and do it again tomorrow. It's easy. But the point of this is getting yourself to a place where the answers that you give the world are not the how you doing kind of answers. Where the answers that you give the world are the answers that come from your heart. Because you are here for a reason. So get in touch with the reason. Make a list. And yeah, check it twice. Watch what happens. Yeah, but what do I do with it? And here we go. This is the hard one. This is step 4. Go to church. Find a tribe. Make a list. Easy stuff, really. Dramatic pause. I want you to ask a favor. Ask somebody a favor. That's step 4. Ask a favor. And I know it's hard. It's crazy. We were told that we were supposed to be rugged individuals and handle everything ourselves, and that's what a real woman or a real man or a real whatever does. Stop it. Nobody does anything on their own. And you're not fooling anybody, desperado. It's time to quit it. I don't even like the Eagles that much. You're welcome. Nobody does anything alone. And if you know that, you've probably heard this before. If you want to make a friend, ask a favor. You ever heard that before? We say namaste sometimes, and I got to be honest, I'm not crazy about the word because I think it gets overused and over-explained and kind of misunderstood. I don't know exactly what it means because it means so many different things. But I know that the spirit of it is that the highest in me sees something bigger in you, and I'm going to share my bigness, and you're going to share yours. We're going to live on bigger terms together. When you ask somebody a favor, what you are saying is, there is something in me that is okay to be vulnerable. There is room in me. And I know that you have something magical and powerful about you that you can share. Think about what's going on there. You want to live out the namaste idea and quit using Sanskrit words and use words that you actually use? Ask somebody a favor. Ask somebody a favor. Ground rules. Are you ready? It's got to be something that is meaningful to you. So this is not pass the salt. It's got to be something that you could not or would not do for yourself. And it's got to be something that's meaningful to them. Ask somebody a favor. You got a week to plan it out. You got a week to get over the macho big boy stuff. You got a week. But it's going to make you a better person. Because we are all in this together. Ask somebody a favor and you will grow. This is huge. And I got to tell you, these steps come out of the coaching that I do, and this is the one that some people are better and worse at different parts of it, you know. This is consistently the one that people have a hard time with. But I got to tell you, boys and girls, this is consistently the one that when I see the person the next week, they go, this blew my mind. It changed me. Such a simple thing, but I've been told all along that I don't deserve it. That it's somehow egotistical. You know what's egotistical? Wallowing in self-pity. Whether you think a lot of yourself or a little of yourself, if it's all about you, it's still egotistical. If you go, you know what? I don't know. You've got this magic thing that you can share that will make me better. I want to be better. Think about the magic of that moment. That's what namaste looks like. Ask a favor. Okay, great. So I go to church. I found an intentional spiritual community. I've got a tribe that tells me if I'm nuts. I make my list. I have a sense of what I'm here to do. I don't know everything, but I got a sense of it, and I have a tool for how I can figure it out when I need to. I ask somebody for favors. I'm the kind of person that can ask for a boon and turn around and give one. I got it. That's great. What now? Step 5 is find an editor. Find an editor. You know what an editor is? You write your weird book, and I've done that because I've written many weird books, and you think you're done, you give it to somebody, and they go, do you know about grammar? Heard about vowels? You know about how this works? Somebody says, you know, that doesn't match this thing. And here's what you're trying to do with the book, but I don't see that there. It's powerful in writing. And in fact, the creative act, I know this from writing books, the creative act is less about getting the words out on the page and more about fixing it after you've done that. Editing is where the magic happens. Be the kind of person who can get some level of clarity. You don't have to know everything, but some level of clarity on, okay, here's this thing. I got this idea. I've been working on it. I have a spiritual community where I'm open to the idea. I have a group of people where we talk about this. I have written some stuff down. I've asked for help in articulating that. And now I've got this thing and I don't exactly know what it is. Here, what do you think? Find someone whose opinion you value. Find someone whose money isn't tied to yours. Because if your big dream is, I'm going to quit all this and join the circus, it needs to be somebody who's like, yeah, but we have payments to make. Find somebody outside of that. Find someone who can give you advice that you will actually take and share your heart with them. And listen to what they say. Find an editor, because it will force you to articulate your dreams, and you can't have your dreams come true if you don't know what the heck they are. Find an editor, listen to their advice, and take it. Something amazing happens when you just become the kind of person who can do that, because it's not all about you anymore. It goes from an I to a we. Something amazing happens when you remember that. Now, that's a lot. I get it. But you know what? This life is a lot. That's a lot, I get it. But the alternative is the concept that you are here to watch television and pay bills and then die. I'm over it, aren't you? It's time to grow a little bit. It's time to change something. It's time for prayer plus sandwiches. In other words, intention plus action. It's time for something that changes something. It's time for that. It's time to accept the gift of this life, because it is a gift. Think about where you've been. Think about where you can go. This life is a gift. But you know how you say thank you for a gift? You use it. Don't go put it on a shelf. Don't ignore it. Don't treat it like it's nothing. Use the gift you've been given to get somewhere else. You know how you really show somebody you like something? When someone makes you a cookie, eat the cookie, enjoy the cookie, and ask for more cookies. That's how they know you like them, right? Ask God for more of this life. Ask for more opportunities to love. Ask for more opportunities to stand up for justice and peace. Don't ask for quiet. Ask for action. Ask for courage and boldness and beauty and art and truth. Ask for it with your actions. Ask for it with your words. Can you be the kind of person who says, you know what, with this life, I'm going to ask for help because I know that God is here and that God likes me? Can you, with your words, ask for truth? Can you, with your actions, ask for justice? Can you, with the way that you carry yourself, ask for freedom? Because all you got to do is ask. And after all, freedom is a choice. Thank you.
It's a little different. So I'm going to sit on the couch and ask you questions. I kind of dig this.
This is kind of like a Captain and Tennille kind of
A
a
little
vibe.
bit.
I need a hat.
I was going to say, you're missing the hat. All right. So question that came in on Friday, actually. The question is, how can I work on not self-medicating with self-pity? And it's kind of interesting because you touched on that this morning a little bit about whether or not it's a big ego or you don't feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. It's convenient in a way to say, I'm not going to dream the big dream because who the heck am I? I'm just going to sit in the yucky of it because at least it's comfortable. You know, it's familiar to me to sit in the place of dysfunction because I know what to expect. But the fact that whoever asked that question is asking demonstrates the most important principle of all of this, and that is that you cannot stop growing. Sooner or later, the comfort zone becomes uncomfortable. How do I quit medicating? Well, there's two ways. Way one is find things that feel better, find things that are comfortable, find a community, do those things that we talked about today. Those things will absolutely help you get out of that because they're all designed to help you get out of your own way. So there's that way of walking in that direction. Find some self-help books, find some things. You know all of that. Eat better, whatever. All of those things. They will help you. That's one way. And the other way is the prodigal son way of just, you will sit in it for enough time until you're done sitting in it. Sooner or later, everybody grows. This is the age-old thing. People say, how can you possibly believe that every single person is good? You know, that idea that we talk about, God is good, you are good, go do good. Sometimes people have problems with that middle one. There's all kinds of ways to prove that people are good, but one of the easiest ways is that prodigal son thing where you realize that nobody likes wallowing in the mud for too long. Husks, he was eating the husks of the corn, just the outer thing. Great symbol, by the way, of living on materiality and superficiality, the outer stuff, right? You want proof that people are good? It's this. Husks don't taste good, and sooner or later you will get sick of it. You know from your own life that one way or the other, you will grow because something inspires you, or you will grow because you're over it. The fact that the spiral of life has a definite basement but no ceiling is proof that the world is a good place. But I talk about the prodigal son a lot, and we identify with that guy. But there's a father in that story. Who's the dad in that story? You know the answer. And that father in that story is just waiting for the son to ask for help, waiting for that son to come home. And that's not a story about something that happens after you die. It's something that happens right now when you go, you know what? I'm going home. So how do I quit medicating with self-pity? You're already past it because you're asking the question. All you got to do is stay the course now. Because you have put that out there that you're done wallowing, things will come to you. Work on those things. Keep asking the questions. You know darn well that God likes you. Maybe better than you like yourself right now. That's okay. Just keep going. And I promise you're not alone. You're not alone.
Okay. This is a good one. How can I get past, sometimes they come in all jumbled up. How can I get past being overwhelmed by the bad things happening in the world?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, especially for church, because sometimes people think of church as like a fort, and we build these walls between us and the outside world. And I come to church because I don't like those things. And I don't read the news because I don't like the bad things that happen. And I don't do this because I don't like seeing that and all of that. And I don't want to be exposed to all of that. And I get it. I can feel waterlogged too. But past a certain point, how are you going to change the world if you don't know what's going on in it? We are called upon, I'm going to say it again, as corny as it is, prayer plus sandwiches. Speak the word, know your truth, and go feed somebody.
I think you need a T-shirt that says that.
Prayer
I'm
plus sandwiches.
I'm going home and ordering it now.
And then we're going to open a
prayer
deli.
plus sandwiches. You wear it for the next Ask the Pastor.
There you go. I like it. But what I'm trying to say is, how do I get past the negative things going on in the world? That was the question, because I got going on.
Overwhelmed. Yeah,
Yeah,
overwhelmed by the bad things.
Go feed somebody. And you can take that literally if you want. Go work in the soup kitchen. We do a lot of that kind of thing around here. But how do I get over it? Go help somebody. It's so easy to get involved in a spiritual community where we all, on Sunday morning or whatever day of the week it happens to be, we all feel really good about how spiritual we all are, and we burn sage and we do the thing and we talk about it and we sing a song and we all know our special secret handshakes and all that. That's great. But if you're not helping somebody, it's just a treehouse. It's just playing pretend. We are here in the world to make a difference in the world. And if you want to feel better about what's going on in the world, be a part of the good stuff that's going on in the world. It's not complicated. And what's the saying? I'm going to mess it up. You can't do all the good the world needs, but the world needs all the good you can do, something like that?
Yes, you got it.
Mr. Rogers' moment. Go do a thing. That's all. And it will feel so good to you. You will start to figure out that there are places where you're not there it doesn't work for you volunteering there. You'll find another one, another place you can help. You'll find a thing you can do. One of the things that we love about this church is we do a lot of volunteering in a lot of different places, and we've discovered that some people really aren't into the Humane Society. They like the food bank. Really aren't into the food bank. They like painting stuff. Really aren't into painting stuff. They like this and that and the other. But what we're starting to see is there are people that really like one particular charitable organization, and they keep working with it even when the church isn't. That's what I wanted. This place can be a catalyst for change in the world, but you're the one that changes it. You want to feel better about what's going on in the world? Be something better that's going on in the world. That's all. Prayer plus sandwiches.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, this is to go. A number of people came to me and said, I know that this service is about asking for help, and I really want to be there because it's something I'm working on. And I've actually had a couple people come to me and say, I don't know if I can sit through that because I was told you don't do that. I get it. I've got enough macho in me. I understand. But I also know better. And you know what? We know better. There is something amazing that happens in you when you share what's going on in your heart. There's something amazing that happens in you when you say, you know what? My ego isn't going to be bruised by asking somebody for help. There's something amazing that happens when we get to the place where we realize the point of that whole exercise is not just networking with other people or anything like that, but rather the point is I now have the momentum that I need to do the thing that I've needed to do the whole time, and that is to ask God. Get to the place in your prayer time where you're not dictating to God, where God is not Santa Claus for you. Get to the place in your prayer time where you say, you know what, God, here's me. I can't do this on my own, but I realize in this moment that I don't stand apart from the universe. I realize in this moment that I'm part of something bigger than myself. God, help me. Be that in your prayer time. And instead of memorizing a bunch of affirmations, you'll have a life that changes something. It takes honesty, it takes courage, it takes heart. But fortunately, those are things you have had all along, Dorothy. Let's pray. Infinite Lord, wise and loving Father, Mother, God, we give thanks for this moment, for this life, for this family. We give thanks that we are here to help one another. And in the helping, our world is changed. In the name and nature of Jesus Christ. Amen. Let us now take our opportunity to give. The blessing is right there on the screen. Let's speak the word together. Together. God is my source, my unending supply. With this gift, I carry my gratitude into action. God's blessings flow through me and fill my world. I give and I live with radical joy.